Hey everybody, this is Tana from Proverbial Homemaker. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I am looking back over our homeschool years and sharing some of the curriculum choices that have had a real staying power in our homeschool. These aren't just the things that we tried for a semester and then put back on the shelf. I'm talking about the ones that we kept using year after year. And I've been homeschooling for 15 years now, maybe 18 if you include from birth. So we've got plenty of years under our belt and more to come. And after homeschooling for all of these years and teaching multiple children, I can tell you that the best resources are the ones that are simple and steady and actually doable in real life. That is what I'm focusing on today. This video is sponsored by Christian Light Education, and I'm very glad to share about them with you because CLE Math is one of the curriculum choices that we have truly used the longest in our homeschool. In this video, I'm going to share 5 of our longest used homeschool curriculum picks. Then, if you want the full list, I have a blog post where I share 7 more of our longest used homeschool curriculum resources. So I'll leave a link for that for you below. All right, so let's start with number 1, which is CLE Math. Christian Light Education's Sunrise Math series has been our longest used math curriculum. The very first one we picked up for math in our homeschool years way back when, and it's the one that I've recommended most often over the years. Math is one of those subjects where I want steady progress without needing to turn every single lesson into some big event, with lots of preparation. I don't have time for that. I have a lot of kids. I have a lot of moving pieces in my day. So for math, I really appreciate curriculum that is very clear and thorough and easy to keep using consistently. And for us, that has been CLE Math. It's one of my favorite curriculums. And one of my favorite things about CLE Math is the light unit format. Instead of handing your child one of those big old textbooks that are huge and unwieldy and seem like they'll never get through it, each level is broken into smaller workbooks called light units. And that might sound like a small thing, it's divided into workbooks, so what? But it's actually been a really helpful part of that math curriculum in our homeschool. The kids aren't staring at this huge book that feels like it will never end. They work through these manageable booklets one at a time, and when they finish it, they get that little sense of accomplishment. For some kids, that really makes a big difference, especially the ones that maybe struggle a little bit with math. A couple of my math-minded boys have especially liked that format though too. They like finishing a math unit. It helps them see their progress, and they like having those smaller milestones just built into their year. I also appreciate the simple layout. CLE Math is not full of bright colors or cartoons or visual clutter, and that helps my kids stay focused on what they are supposed to do. The other major strength is the way CLE Math teaches in reviews. Each lesson includes one new concept in a small incremental step. Then the student gets practice with what they've already learned. And so that spiral review has been one of the biggest reasons that we keep coming back to CLE Math. And my kids who have used it the most are the strongest in math. Math is not usually learned once and mastered forever. Kids forget things, so they need that built-in review and those concept reviews. They need regular practice. So those skills can come back around, and they need to be able to practice them more and more until they're just really solid. And CLE Math builds that in, and I really like that. So that's been very helpful for retention. And it also helps me notice where a child needs more review. If something shows up in review and they suddenly can't remember how to do it, I know that we need to stop and go back and revisit that concept and do a little more practice before they move on. Another thing that I like is that CLE Math encourages independence over time. And so, of course, I'm going to check tests and quizzes and things like that, but the goal is to move from having to check every single little thing to being able to let them do most of their own checking of their work as they go through their lessons. So the lessons are structured enough that students can often begin to take on more responsibility as they mature. CLE Math has really helped us build a strong foundation and stay consistent and keep moving forward without making math more complicated than it needs to be, and I really appreciate that. So if you want to check out Christian Light Education Math, I'll put the link below and you can check it out, and even where you can get a free sample workbook. All right, so let me share 4 more resources that we have used for the longest time in our homeschool. Number 2 is Bible Road Trip. Bible Road Trip has been a major part of our homeschool and family discipleship, and we've used it from year 1. This is a resource that helps families to read through and study the Bible together. One reason that it has worked so well for us is that it can be used with a wide range of ages, and that really matters when you're homeschooling several children. I love to be able to bring everyone together for a Bible study instead of having every child in a completely different lesson. We like to do our Bible learning together. With Bible Road Trip, younger kids and older students can study the same area of Scripture, but maybe go a little bit more in depth when they're older and respond at different levels. So for younger kids, that might be listening and drawing and some copy work or some simple discussion, maybe some crafts if you decide to add those in. For older kids, it could be additional reading or notebooking, deeper questions, some research, and even written responses and papers as they get into the high school levels. I also like to think of Bible Road Trip as a buffet-style curriculum. You know, there's a lot to it that you can use. There's reading, discussions, questions, notebooking, memory work, videos, books, crafts, so many things. But you don't have to do it all, and we really never do all of it. We use Bible Road Trip more fully in some seasons and more simply in others. And sometimes we'll add notebooking and activities or deeper research for our older kiddos. But even if we're just doing the scripture and discussing it, that's still a win. You know, that's a very good day. And that flexibility is one of the reasons that Bible Road Trip has lasted so long for us. The third top pick for the longest used homeschool curriculum is music in our homeschool. This is something we've used for a very long time. I really wanted music education in our homeschool. It's one of the things that my husband said he wanted to be a top priority in our homeschool. I wanted hymn study and composer study. I wanted my kids to be exposed to beautiful music and fine arts of different areas. But I also know myself, and if I had to plan it all from scratch, or if it got complicated, it's probably just not going to happen when life gets busy. So music in our homeschools really helped with teaching them music appreciation because it's so easy to use and it's just ready to go. And it's really enjoyable to just open it up and turn it on and, you know, enjoy it together. So we use it during morning time sometimes, or maybe in our loop schedule, or as part of our Friday riches. And sometimes even with independent enrichment for older kids, they have a Shakespeare unit in there that my older kids have done on their own. My kids have really enjoyed the courses, and they still talk specifically about the classical music with cartoons course that they love. That's their favorite. I like it because it brings music in our homeschool in a way that feels really doable and easy for me. It doesn't require me to become a music expert or gather a bunch of materials. We can just pull it up on the laptop and enjoy it together. And next up is we're going to be enjoying this coming year is their units on American music to go along with our American history studies. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I'll leave you a link for that. Go check out music in our homeschool. Number 4 is notebooking pages. Notebooking pages as a concept is just a tool. It's not really a curriculum. It's a tool that we use alongside other subjects and curricula. So notebooking is basically a way for kids to record and respond to what they're learning. And so they might write facts or copy scripture, draw a picture, label a map, write out a narration, or maybe record important takeaways or biblical principles from a lesson. We have used notebooking with several subjects over the years, with history, Bible, science, geography, literature, art, for our field trips, so many things. Now, notebookingpages.com is a fantastic tool to help you make notebooking a more regular habit in your homeschool. It's a huge repository of pre-made notebooking pages for a wide variety of topics and subjects that you can pull up and print off as needed. So what I appreciate about notebooking pages specifically is that it saves me time. So if we're studying a topic, I can just pop it open, search the membership, quickly find the pages that work for me and print it off. That is much easier than trying to hunt all over the internet looking for something or making it myself. So could I make my own notebooking pages? Sure, and I have done that before. Do I want to do that all the time? No, I do not. The membership has been very helpful because I can print what's needed and use it with the curriculum right away. And if I can't find exactly what I need, our membership option that we chose has the page generator feature, which is really handy, so we can actually easily whip up our own notebooking page right there in the program. So that is the kind of practical tool that I keep coming back to. Number 5 is all about spelling. And the spelling has been one of those subjects that we have bounced all around with over the years and struggled with a bit with some of my kids. Some of my kids didn't need much spelling instruction at all, but several of them did need extra support, and we have especially needed more explicit spelling instruction for kids with dyslexia. All About Spelling is the resource that we just keep returning to. It uses the Orton-Gillingham method and teaches spelling in a very systematic, multisensory, step-by-step way. It covers phonograms and spelling rules and patterns and dictation and review, all of those things. And it doesn't just hand the child a list of words and expect them to memorize them for the test, and that's been important for us, especially for our dyslexic kiddos. So I will say the first time I tried All About Spelling, I did not love it. The reason was the tiles. I couldn't handle the physical letter tiles. They were just too much for me and my disorganized self. We were constantly losing the tiles. It was driving me crazy. So we set it aside for a while, but we just kept coming back to it, and then they came out with a letter tiles app, and that made all the difference for us. That was a much better fit for me, and we have used it ever since. All About Spelling does require parent involvement. It's not just hand it to the child and walk away resource, but the lessons are short. The teacher manual is scripted. You don't have to follow it exactly as it's written, but it's scripted to help you out, and I found that helpful. The flashcard review system is clear, and the instruction is really direct and organized. So for us, the bottom line is that it works. It really helps strengthen their spelling skills, and it's worth the time. It gives my struggling spellers that kind of explicit instruction that they really need. So those are 5 of our longest used homeschool curriculum resources: Christian Light Education Math, Bible Road Trip, Music in Our Homeschool, Notebooking Pages, and All About Spelling. They are all very different, but they have lasted for similar reasons. They're very practical, they're realistic for homeschool family life and flexible, and they help us stay consistent. So feel free to let me know if you have any questions about any of those selections. You can check out the description below for links to each one, as well as some full reviews for some of them on my site if you want to dig in a little deeper and find out some more details and pictures and things of us using them. And if you want to see the rest of the list, head over to the blog post, which I'll link below as well. I'm sharing 7 more of our longest used homeschool curriculum resources there. So now I would love to hear from you. Leave me a comment and tell me what has lasted in your homeschool as a curriculum or resource that your family just keeps coming back to. Thanks for watching, friends, and happy homeschooling.